I think I became frustrated with what I was seeing happening in the council at the time. This was a long time ago, but and I just felt like we need more diversity in council with the council members. And someone actually said to me, there's no way you'll ever get into council, you're a single mum on Centrelink. So if anybody wants to motivate me, it's by telling me I can't do something. So I ran for mayor, which was a bit ambitious, and then I ran for a councillor and got voted in. So and I just wanted to make sure that there was a voice for everybody on council, for people who are on Centrelink, living paycheck to paycheck, for people that don't understand necessarily how council works or don't feel like they have a voice, so that there was someone representing every demographic in Whyalla. I've lived in a lot of places and I've worked in a lot of places, and Whyalla has always felt like home. Whyalla has had its problems, and I've lived here most of my 47 years. I've only moved away because of work, never any reason that was related to Whyalla, and I have come back every time. Whyalla I like because of there's opportunity in Whyalla for everybody. If you want to go into a trade, there's trade opportunities in Whyalla. If you want to go to university, university's here. So if you move here and you buy a home, the chances are, as your children grow, you're not going to have to move to give your children better opportunities. Kids are my passion, giving kids the opportunity to be whoever they are, no matter what their background is. If you've got YouTube, if you've got a smartphone, if you've got access to the internet, there is absolutely nothing stopping you being whatever you want to be. Opportunity for everybody, hope, giving people hope. And getting across to people, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Your circumstances don't define who you are, your choices do. And there might be some people watching this that might think, well, what do you know? You know, you're on council and you've got a job and you do all this. Well, I haven't always had that. I've been a single mum completely solo on my own for many years, and I was on Centrelink while I was on maternity leave, and I could not go back to work full time to be able to make the money to be comfortable, because I have a special needs child. So I do have that background to understand where people are coming from. I can connect to, you know, people that are struggling, and I still struggle fortnight to fortnight, and I will openly tell that to everybody. So if anybody's struggling with anything financially to do with council, I'm here to listen, because I know what's available, because I'm utilising that. And a lot of people on council, they might look at them and think, I can't connect to that person, or I'm embarrassed to speak to that person, or that person won't hear my voice. Council genuinely does have a lot of people with different interests from different backgrounds, and there's somebody here that can connect with everybody. So the highlight for me has been all the small wins we've managed to achieve in an environment where shortly after we first started, the world fell down around us, and a lot of us were new. So the highlight has been learning to be happy with the small wins and know that there's things in place. And just meeting people in the community I normally wouldn't have met. Seeing that foreshore come, where families are going to be able to go and have a fun day out on minimal cost and create those core memories with their family, and also draw tourists in, that's really exciting. I can't wait to take my kids to something like that, and I can't wait to share photos and promote it and bring other families in for that, because that's something that we need, especially to bring in professionals to Whyalla, is something for them to do locally on the weekends. I went to school all through Whyalla. I was born in Whyalla and I got educated in Whyalla, and when I started, about 16, 17 years old, I started getting tangled up in the country music scene, which was huge back then in the 90s. I went on to win Female Vocalist of the Year in South Australia, and on to Tamworth. I got a scholarship to Tamworth, and I just loved singing. And from country music, I progressed to rock bands. been in several local rock bands and one in Port Augusta when I lived there. And when I did leave school, I surprised my family with gaining an apprenticeship. I was an electrical apprentice out at what was back then BHP. I was one of only 2 female apprentices and one, I think, of only 4 women in trade. But being small, I decided that being an industrial electrician probably wasn't something I could excel in because I couldn't do things independently, not because of my abilities, but because of my size. So I started looking for a new career and I moved into a government career, which I'm still in 25 years later, which has allowed me to move around and gain a lot of experience. As a special needs mother, I was hammering Nigel to get some. Nigel was a paediatrician in Port Augusta. I think most special needs parents know who Nigel was and love him, to get paediatricians here. So I was really excited to advocate and push and just be a real pain in the arse to get some paediatricians in Whyalla and see that happening. And I'm not saying that I was instrumental in that in any way, but I was part of the collective noise.